Hi, I go by the name of Podgy Figures. If you're watching this, you're probably interested in growing a business, maybe stepping deeper into entrepreneurship, maybe pivoting from where you are right now. My first podcast, I interviewed an instructor, Donnie, that had his own driving instructor business. I'm going to break down tips, stacks, and the mindset you need to grow your driving instructor business. My goal is to set you up for real success. All right, let's get straight into the money. Most driving instructors in the UK charge 30 to 40 pounds an hour for a lesson. Let's do the maths on that. Even if you do 8 hours a day at 40 pounds, that's what, 320 pounds a day. Look, that's good money. Let's just say you times that by 5, so that's £1,600 a week. £1,600 a week. Now I know what you're gonna say, like, oh, I got a job, I can earn that. I do £1,600 a week in my job. No, bro. You don't earn £1,600 like this. You earn a £1,600 where you've got a manager and a supervisor. Supervisor is a dick. The manager's like even more of a dick. And you know what I mean? They're just on you. Like, you take your lunch breaks meant to be for an hour. They'd be like coming 35 minutes into it, like, mate, we need you back on the floor. Like, you need to stop this lunch break. With this way here, like, you're your own person, you're your own boss. If you want to take that lunch break and, I don't know, go to your Starbucks or Costa and have your lunch, or, you know what I mean? Even if you make lunch at home and bring it, you can have the piece of that. That's what this job actually does for you. So I want to hear I make the same money, because at the end of the day, you might make the same money, but you don't, you're not in the same conditions. Do you understand? There's a level of freedom you actually have with this. So yeah, man. And let's throw, like, that's 5 days a week. Let's throw a Sunday on that. Yeah, let's just throw a Sunday on that. So you're at £1,600 already for Monday to Friday doing 8 hours. You throw a Sunday on that. That could probably bump you up to 2 grand. 2 grand a week. So 2 grand, let's say, you know what I mean? It's 2 grand a week. That's 8 grand a month. 8 grand a month. 8 grand a month. Times that by 12. What? We at 96. When I say 12, because there's 12 months in a year, it's 96 grand. 96 grand. Yo! 96. Listen, if my money ever gets funny, 96 grand, you might see Podgy Figures as a driving instructor. I'm keeping it real. If I had the extra time, the extra 8 hours in the day, I would slide that in my day. Like 96 grand. I'm not too sexy to turn down 96 grand a year. So 1,000 a year is a good enough reason for you to look into it. All right, let's get into the course to become a fully qualified driving instructor. It's typically between 2,500 to 3,000. Now, I know what you're going to say, that's a lot of money, but it's not. It's really not a lot of money to invest into yourself. That's how you got to look at it. You can't look at the actual figure. You're investing that money into yourself. So, all right, then let's do a little breakdown of that. The training comes in 3 parts. So part 1 is a theory, hazard, and perception. Part 2 is a driving ability. And part 3 is an instructional ability. Yeah, so that was part 1, part 2, and part 3. Now, an improved driving instructor test must be taken as well. And the fees for this one are an ADI part 1, that is £31. An ADI part 2 is £111. And an ADI part 3 is £111. And then you have to do an ADI registration and license. So an ADI registration and license fees are, first, an ADI certificate, that's £300. Then a training driving instructor license, that's £140. And then a renewal or a re-registrational is £300. And I know what you're going to say, Podgy, that's a lot of money. It's really not. It's something you're investing into yourself. And for you to earn good money, you need to invest into yourself. So that there will get you qualified. That will get you past the finishing line. The journey you're going to embark on, your mindset has to be right. Like, if you can't surround yourself around positive people, just don't surround yourself with anybody. You know, people say, oh, positive energy, and sometimes that energy just ain't there. So you gonna take this trip, and it's gonna be a solo trip. It could be a solo trip. And some of those trips are the best trips, having those solo trips. So if you can't find the positive energy, or it's not around you, you doing this trip solo. And that's not a bad thing. Another thing as well, like the mindset. The mindset has to be right when you're embarking on this journey here. It has to be right. And you have to move in silence. You can't be telling people your ideas or what steps you're on. You gotta just show them the finishing product. You know what I mean? Like when you're passed and you're driving, and you know what I mean, teaching your people how to pass their test. That's the only time you should really be having a conversation with them, because it doesn't work. People don't see your vision, and that's okay. They ain't meant to see it. That's the reality is. And people got this thing about, oh, people don't support me, man. I don't get support from my friends and support from my family. Like, bro, you don't need support from your friends and the family. You just need to dig in yourself. This one's gonna sting. Sacrifice. Sacrificing on this journey you're on is probably gonna be the one of the challenging things to do. If you're in a gym, for instance, and you got David Lloyd, sexy David Lloyd's gym and that, you might have to understand and say, you know what, I need to stop that membership. You know, you can still work out, but I would advise you to maybe buy some equipment, get yourself a dumbbell, get yourself on a small Olympic bar and some weights, and start working out in the morning yourself, just to be able to save that extra money, because you're going to need to make cutbacks when you're on this journey. That's what a lot of people don't really talk about, the cutbacks you need to actually do to get to where you need to get to. So sacrificing is going to be a challenging thing on this journey, but it's something you can do. Another thing as well I want to say to the man them who's watching this as well, when I mean sacrificing as well, that's even a partner. Don't dive in to get into a relationship or start something up when you're on your journey trying to get yourself right. You know, if it does happen, or you meet somebody, or you know what I mean, just be transparent with them. Just say to them, look, man, I'm building here. I've got a goal, so I can't really get into anything serious. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like she'll respect that. And even not just for the man, them girls as well. If you're building and you're starting something, same thing, being transparent and just say, look, I'm not where I want to be. So a relationship situation ain't the right thing for me right now, if that makes any sense. So I feel those conversations need to be had. Like, it's hard enough getting to your goal. It's hard enough, but you trying to please another party while you're trying to get to your goal is going to be energy draining. It's going to drain the energy out. And you need as much energy as possible when you're actually building. Yeah. So I hope my stats and tips helped you, and it drives you towards your goal. No pun intended.